It's been a little while since we've checked on our friends at Anheuser-Busch and more particularly their division Bud Light. And in case you're wondering if things are getting any better for the king of beers, let me answer that question for you in a very simple and succinct manner. No. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your front porch conservative. Step on up to my electronic front porch and let's talk. Now, as I said, it's been a little while since we've done a video about the goings-on at the King of Beers, Anheuser-Busch. Now, it's not that I've been ignoring it, it's just there's been other things going on. But since we're now past Memorial Day, we're starting to head into the summer, which is going to be peak beer drinking season for every manufacturer. I thought it might be a good time to check in and see how things are going, and as I said, it ain't good. So let's take a look at some of the headlines, analyze what it all means, and see where this thing might be going. So we'll start with an article from Newsweek. Headline: Bud Light sales dropped 29.5% in latest week since boycott calls. In an article written by Alex Phillips, Bud Light continued to suffer declining fortunes as a boycott of the beer brand over its partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney is reported to have had a lasting impact on sales and revenue. According to data by Bump Williams Consulting and Nielsen IQ, both of which we've cited before in previous videos, provided to Newsweek, in the week ending May 20th, sales volume, the number of units of beer sold, declined 29.5% compared to the same period last year, while sales revenue was down 25.7% on the same week in 2022. Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light's parent company, has been accused of alienating its traditional customer base with its partnership, while some LGBTQ plus campaigners have also criticized the company for not defending its ties to Mulvaney. Brand strategists have criticized the brewery over its response to the backlash, which they say characterized as being peppered with knee-jerk reactions that only extended the controversy. While the company's global CEO, Michael Decoris, said on May 4th that the declining Bud Light sales represented only about 1% of Anheuser-Busch's global volume, the latest figures suggest the backlash is having a lasting impact on the beer brand's U.S. revenue. And boy, he ain't kidding. Ladies and gentlemen, I've said it before, I'll say it again. I have never seen a boycott like this in my lifetime. I remember back in the 1980s when various pop culture figures would do things, family groups, conservative groups would call for boycott, but it wouldn't have legs. In other words, it wouldn't last very long, or it wasn't very effective in the overall scheme of things. This one, though, has legs and has been running for a good 2 months. How bad are things getting for Anheuser-Busch? Take a look at this. This is the latest stock price for the King of Beers. Let me show it to you. At the end of trading on May 30th, 2023, a share of Bud Light stock was sitting at $54.46. In other words, $54.46 a share. Now, comparatively speaking, how bad has it gotten? Well, let me show you something. On March 31st, the day before this controversy started, the stock price on Anheuser-Busch was sitting at $66.73 a share. They've dropped $12 in value per share. Now, what does that mean in terms of money? Well, let me show you something else. Take a look at this. This is from the UK Daily Mail, and this headline kind of puts everything in perspective. The Cowboys ride away. George Strait concert goers ignore Bud Light tent as Dylan Mulvaney debacle rumbles on, and parent company Anheuser-Busch sees $19 billion wiped off its market value. Fans were seen buying competitors' beverages, including Coors Light, during a concert in Ohio. Both Budweiser and Michelob Ultra, also owned by Anheuser-Busch, were also left on the shelves. The company has lost $19 billion since partnering with Mulvaney in April. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me put that to you in perspective. We're not even talking about the month of May when this boycott has really gripped in hard on Anheuser-Busch. But in April alone, Anheuser-Busch has lost $19 billion because of this marketing debacle, this horrible decision that they made to run that ad with Dylan Mulvaney. Now, like I say, I don't fault Mulvaney for this. If Anheuser-Busch is going to offer the money, take it. But Anheuser-Busch should have known better than to alienate their customer base the way they did. And to reference something from that article, to give you an idea of what they're talking about, that article references a concert that country singer George Strait gave in Columbus, Ohio. Let me show you a video image that was taken just to give you an idea of how bad the distaste, no pun intended, is for Bud Light beer right now. This is from the Twitter account of an individual named Evan Kilgore, who works for Turning Point USA. Watch this. Row of that stuff is just sitting there in cases. No one will buy it. They'll buy everything else. They'll buy Coors. They'll buy whoever, but they're not touching Bud Light. That is how radioactive Anheuser-Busch has made this one particular brand of their product. How bad has it gotten for them? Well, let me show you something else. This is an article came out yesterday, actually, from Newsweek magazine. Bud Light beer selling for 14 cents as company struggles during boycott. Article written by Anna Skinner. A boycott continues to cripple Bud Light's sales in stores around the nation, with at least one retailer slashing its price on a 24-pack of Bud Light to $3.49, or approximately 14 cents a can, according to a recent report by Beer Business Daily. Bud Light and its parent company Anheuser-Busch have experienced a sharp decline, that's just putting it mildly, in sales since April, when transgender influencer and activist Dylan Mulvaney promoted the brand after receiving a beer can with Dylan's face on it to celebrate Dylan's 1-year anniversary of transitioning to a woman. He's still a man. But yeah, you can see how bad it is. It's so bad, in fact, that about a week ago, New York Post is reporting that Bud Light was buying back unsold beer following the Dylan Mulvaney crisis. We're going to read a little bit into this article. Bud Light has reportedly told wholesalers it will buy back unsold cases of beer that are past their expiration dates. Think about that for a second. As sales of the Anheuser-Busch-owned brand have lagged following its disastrous marketing partnership with transgender influencer Dylan Mulvaney. Ladies and gentlemen, let that sink in for a moment. These cans of beer have been sitting on the shelves unsold for so long now, they are past their expiration date, to the point that the parent company of Bud Light is reaching out to the distributors all around the country saying, look, if you guys have unsold beer, we're going to buy it back from you. That's how bad this is hurting not only Anheuser-Busch, not only Bud Light, but the distributors who sell the beer. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you, but sooner or later, the leadership at Anheuser-Busch has got to come to their senses. They cannot continue this war of attrition with their customer base. It's time for them to come out and apologize for this. Say they were wrong. Say they're sorry. It doesn't matter if you partner with Harley Davidson, which they are reportedly doing, putting Harley Davidson's logo on Budweiser cans. It doesn't matter. You, Anheuser-Busch, you need to admit you screwed up. You need to admit you were wrong. You need to admit that you're sorry and say it to your customer base. Otherwise, this is going to keep on going. If these kind of declining sales numbers go into the summer, then as previous reports have said, there's a very good chance that by the end of the year, Bud Light will lose its status as the #1 sold beer in America. So we're still going to keep an eye on it. We're still going to cover this, but that's where we are as of right now. So as we start to wrap this up, please do me some favors as always. Number one, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, please do so. Number two, hit the bell for notifications. Number three, leave a comment below. It always helps the algorithm. Number four, please share the videos around. And number five, give me a thumbs up. My name is Brian Trippett. I am your Front Porch Conservative, and I'll see you next time.